What's going on, Mr. Dave here? I'm in the bubble in the machine. Wow, there's like two of me on that picture you have there. That's pretty weird. I'm also wondering why is America spelled backwards? This should be like a camera looking at what it spells. No, it's not spelled backwards. I don't understand this. Anyway, Mr. Dave here in my office, and I was thinking, sometimes it'd be really cool to be able to talk with someone, or at least go through in time, back in time, with someone on a project they did, and what happened with it, what was it about, what were the problems that showed up or the challenge you faced. And so I'm just thinking it might be kind of cool to walk with you through a project that I've done recently. I actually have a new job right now. It's a remodel, so I'm thinking remodel. Let's go back and look at a remodel. So I will move my bubble head over to the side, and let's look at some photos and see if we can find the one that is the one I want to show you. It's a project. It was in Poway, California. And what I'm and Facebook, I haven't found a way to go right to the cover albums. I mean, I forgot. Let's see. No chosen files. I don't want to make a file. I mean, an album. I just want to go to one. So I can find one that already is. Okay, this one, Big Daddy Moore, is already one. And then I can click that album. And now I can find the one I want to go to. This is the one I want to look at. 2015 Poway Remodel. And this was a really cool project. This was really, really something. It needed a lot of work. And let's go back to the first part of it, the pictures, for you to check it out and take a look at. Look at this thing. Oh my gosh. What a mess. I can tell this is a client, or this is a pool, a fake rock builder that I've been dealing with for years. He uses pieces of flagstone to make the spillway, and he does good shapes and stuff, but he also makes them with the concrete not encasing the steel. It's my biggest complaint, pretty much. If you don't encase the rebar, the project can rust, and you're not giving the concrete any tensile strength. Steel steel. If I can talk tonight, steel adds tensile strength to concrete. That's where they put in bridges and all concrete construction, bridges, freeways, highways, concrete buildings, tilt-up buildings, slabs, floors. It's there to give the concrete tensile strength. And when you don't encase the steel in the concrete, you're not gaining any of that tensile strength. It's separated from it pretty much. And so on these jobs, I see it all the time, right around the corners, right around these corners, the corners of the project, you see cracks show up, and eventually things just fall apart and completely rust out. So this is a job we did back in 2015, and started out that way, ended up this way. So see if I can keep them in some kind of order. We'll go through the process here. The spillway, as you can see, is like straight on down. How interesting is that? The slides right here, which needs to go in some kind of a pattern or a pathway. And the spillway right next to it he just kept going the same thing, just straight on down the middle of it, like a stairway. Not as natural of a look, not at all. So I went ahead and changed it. I'm going to actually break the waterfall up so it doesn't go straight down. It actually breaks and goes around this other stone or boulder. And look at that. You can see how all this stuff is rusted. All that's brown and rusted. We're going to actually shotcrete this whole thing. We're also creating a pathway of steps around this side so people can walk up to the slide. And they had some flagstone pieces before. They were really sketchy and funky and not that good. And this is what's inside these fake rocks. If you don't make the thing solid, you don't make fake rocks solid, that's what they do. They go completely full of water very, very often, and then you build up this rusting kind of nastiness inside this thing. So you can see what happens when you drill a hole in it. It's like bleeding. It's pretty gross. And so all of these rocks, they're all built the same way. They were actually hollow, and they weren't even that big. They were only, this thick. They weren't even that huge. They could have very easily made them solid when they built them. And so that's a big mistake, to not make things solid by the water level. Down below water, you got to make them solid. So breaking all these things out, redoing the steel. Look at the thickness, by the way, of the rebar right there. Like that, it's a stiletto. It's disintegrating. See all these pieces? Again, they're not encased in concrete, and they're not doing any good. Look at that right here. They've completely disintegrated and just disappeared. Look at that. It rusted away to nothing, just gone. So all these rocks had to be removed, demoed out, re-epoxy steeled all the way around the whole feature. And there's, you can see again that straight waterfall, just straight down the middle, very boring. It should have some zigzags. Nature does zigzagging most of the time. And so I'm going to modify that and have the waterfall come around this way. I think I have some pretty cool videos of this on my YouTube channel. And so you can go to daverhenderson.com and check out, if you scroll down the page, you can get to the YouTube channel there. But here we can see we've redone all this stuff with new steel, made a step down there because they didn't have one yet. Blew out all that stuff, got rid of all of it. A lot of the concrete rubble we put inside these new rocks we made. But see, now the waterfall is going to come down and it's going to split and come over here. So we'll have two spillways instead of one that's just straight down. And I put this in the way, and I also put a planter in there as well. And so marching along, you can see the steel. Look at that, all new steel. I try to use the old stuff. I grind off the rust as best I can, and then I go ahead and I add new steel in there. And this is after the shotcrete, I believe it is. You can see that I made all these steps going up the side. And here's the shotcrete day, some photos of that. Close-up of it. There again, that's our burlap. Chicken wire on the outside, burlap on the inside. There's all the rubble. We just filled it in and inside other rocks that we made. Makes sense, huh? Yeah, look at that. How about that? That's the finished thing right there. And so that's the waterfall and splits. I like to put smaller rocks with the bigger ones. And got a nice fern here. Got a planter right there for it to come down. Then it splits, so it goes around that. And there it is. There's the finished project. So you can see it's a lot more interesting. It goes sideways and zigs and zags, bigger stone elements and small ones. All this is shotcreted and made again, made over. The shapes weren't that bad. They had some variety of scale, big ones and small ones, and that's okay. That's totally cool. And there's the steps, the padway. They were putting in the little ground cover in between the stones I made. And these are just all pooped in place, pardon the phrase, with the concrete pump, and I just carved them right on site in that space. And so there you have it. You can see the beginning and the end. So thank you for watching. Mr. Dave here, just taking you on a little journey through the past into a project we did back in 2015, a remodel job. I wanted to show you what that's like and kind of walk you through that. So Mr. Dave right here, looking at you in the bubble. So anyway, have a good one. Again, if you want to see other stuff, there's free PDF downloads at daverhenderson.com, and just go to that website and scroll down. You'll find the link to the free PDF stuff. There's lots of things there. I think 5 or 6 things I put there that are just free, cool things, talk about fake rock, and you can check those out. And there's also there's a course there that I just put up recently, so you're welcome to check that out too. So anyway, Mr. Dave, making a video walking you through a job from the past. And so I hope you liked it. Let me know. Send me a message or something. Let me know if this is interesting to you or not. All right. So we'll talk to you soon, and God bless you, and be thankful and be forgiving. That's always the way to live a life, because it always works out better when you do that. All right. Now if I can find the button to stop this thing, we'll do it. All right. See you next time.